Welcome to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. Thank you for being here. This is part 2 of the What the Royals Have Hidden in Plain Sight. Diana confided in her friend Christine Fitzgerald that the leader and most powerful of this family was, in fact, the Queen Mother. She was extremely fearful of this woman, and rightfully so, to the degree that she simply could not contain herself properly in that woman's presence. She would have troubles breathing every time she was in or near her personal space. In 1985, my experience, I do remember feeling the oil in the air. It's a slick, dense feeling. It's very hard to breathe and it stinks. So I can relate to what she's saying. It's quite bizarre. If you haven't experienced it, I hope you never do. But if you have, you'll know exactly what she and I are talking about regarding that. Diana said that Prince Philip was as evil, if not more evil, than the Queen Mother, but he idolized the Queen Mother. He was her subordinate in the hierarchy, and he would do absolutely anything for her. You know, I'm having a Mandela effect. I'll say this real fast. I believe she recently died, but I looked it up, and she died in 2002. According to Google. How bizarre. The Queen Mother is connected to a long list of brotherhood groups and societies. She's the head of the Inner Temple, the elite and the highly secretive society for the upper levels of the legal professions. And that's absolutely frightening in and of itself, because that's how these people literally get away with murder. And I think somebody needs to handle this. I don't think it's fair, to be honest. But she has a seat in every bit of her. The Queen has a seat in everywhere she owns, or they bow down to her, or the nations that she's the ruler of. And that's frightening. But look real fast at this thing. That reminds me of Princess Diana's coat of arms, and in the back you can see the club markings on the tower. This is a map showing all of the Knights of Templar areas. How could Diana have ever felt safe? Everywhere she would ever imagine going, there is eyes, or were eyes and ears. And, you know, it's worse than Scientology, in my opinion, in the facts that you just cannot get away from these people. And that's what I worry for Meghan, more so than Kate, because I think Kate was very familiar with this operation, but Meghan not so much. And I think that's why I'm kind of worried for that young lady. The Queen Mother and Lady Ruth Fermoy, which, by the way, here's an interesting fact. Remember, she's the one that doped up Princess Diana for the Bride Awakening ceremony? What a devil. She's actually Diana's grandmother, her maternal grandmother. It's bad enough that your dad's involved in this junk, but your grandmother, I couldn't imagine my granny being in the mix with these devils. Anyhow, those two women, I hate saying her name, Lady Fermoy and the Queen Mother, are the ones that manipulated Diana into the relationship with Charles. They're the ones that set the whole situation up. It makes me think of the setup between Markle and Harry by the Queen. I mean, it just frightens me, really. It worries me. But they were the best of friends. Their entire lives, you know. How sick. And see, I think Diana should have known something. She should have had an inkling of an idea, you know, if she knew her grandmother. She should have been a lot smarter. I'm not trying to dog down on Diana, because I do feel sorry for her on one hand, but on the other, I feel like she knew the stew she was jumping in, you know. You don't do stuff like that if you're aware of how crooked and wicked these people are, because they're absolutely in your family too. But yeah, they're responsible for setting up that wedding. But look at how The body language on Charles in that kiss and her, she looks desperate. Yet she was doped up. Of course, the reason why Diana was given a place to stay at the Queen Mother's home, the Clarence house, in the weeks prior to her marriage to Charles, was absolutely to groom her for the awakening of the bride ceremony, of course, and to get to know her ins and outs. A direct quote from Diana was, "The Queen Mother is evil," and she used the word evil. She said the Queen Mother hates her, and in return she hated the Queen Mother. And over the years, the Queen Mother has used heavy propaganda over there to convince everyone how precious she is. They call her their favorite grandmother. I know, isn't that gross? When asked a local how they felt about the Queen Mother, she replied, "Such a kind, gentle, loving lady. We love the Queen Mum. Everyone should." And of course, during her wedding in St. Paul's Cathedral that day, she was heavily doped up to the point that she herself said that she didn't understand how she put one foot in front of the other. Diana found herself becoming extremely close and using the employees, the workers of the palace, as secret holders, confidants. And the Queen found out and made them all sign a non-disclosure agreement. And that's what she also did recently with Doria Ragland, and told her that she could not speak of even her own daughter's situations. There is nobody going to tell me, I don't care who it is, short of God himself. You're not going to tell me I can't speak about my own child, and I don't care how old they are. They could be 55 and I'm 75. If I want to speak on my children, I'm going to. But that's how much these people have hiding in their lives. Christine Fitzgerald, the good friend of Diana, said the Queen Mother's a serious piece of wizardry. She's a lot older than everyone thinks, and to be honest, the royal family have not died, only metamorphosized. It's cloning in a different way, and that makes sense to me. They take pieces of flesh, and they rebuild the body from that one little bit. Like a true lizard, they're cold-blooded. It makes it much easier for them to do a Frankenstein shit versus, than it is for everyone else. The different bodies are just different electrical vibrations, and they have got that secret of the microcurrents, so micro, so specific, that these radio waves that actually create the bodies, these are the same energies that Christine Fitzgerald, works with when she's healing someone. So she knows the vibration of life. They know the vibration also because they're cold-blooded. They're reptiles. They have no wish to make the earth the perfect harmonious place it could be, or to heal the earth of the damage that's been done to it. These reptiles are coming up from the bowels of the earth, and the real knowledge has been taken out and shredded in different ways. The Queen Mother is the chief toad, a massive part of Europe, and they have people like her on every continent. The hangers-on type people, most people don't know what's going on. They're the starstruck people that are in awe of them, or others in power. And don't think of the Queen Mother and Queen Victoria as two different people. Think of them as the same person, which after a while has had to change their coat. When the flesh dies, the energy will, while it's dying, will immediately be regenerated in a sense. Anyway, Christine Fitzgerald says they're not going to come at you with hooked claws and suck your blood like vampires. But the fear is all the food that they need. They take emotions like fear and manifest it into tangible things. The key is the vibrational current. And even after the monarchy fails, that is not the end of it. Reptilians have never been defeated. But so far, this is the closest that they've come to it. My next video, I need to talk really fast. Thank you guys, by the way, for being here, and I hope you have a blessed day. But my next video is going to be kind of gruesome, but it's the truth. Take care.